Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live here at NACA, Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, the NACA radio show. It is so nice to see everybody and hear everybody and witness everybody texting and emailing and liking us already. So I appreciate that. I am Angie Annette Thibodeau, host of the NACA radio show. We are missing Damian Smith today, but not for long. He'll be joining us soon. Want to go ahead on and get started. It has been an amazing weekend, and I hope you all had an amazing weekend as well. Well, we had a lot of things going on this weekend. We continue to have our back to school drives over the weekend. We're still doing back to school drives, and we're still doing food donations and all kinds of resources and free resources out there. But our main thing is getting ready for you with our rental assistance program. And if you are in need of rental assistance, do not hesitate. Reach out and contact us at www.naca.com or 425-602-6222. Want to make sure that you know that rental assistance, utility assistance, and all types of resources in your local areas are available to you and brought to you through your liaison NACA. So it is, again, a beautiful day here on this Monday, 2 o'clock on the NACA radio program. This is the show that brings you not just information about housing. We want to make sure we bring you information, bringing forth awareness, access, and change in your local communities. And bringing forth awareness means bringing resources available, making resources available to you, making sure you are aware of what's really due to you out there in the community, in your local communities. But not only making you aware of it, giving you access to those resources. And that's the one thing that NACA does and does great, as bring forth awareness and access. We provide access to so much that is out in your local communities, so much as it relates to housing in the urban developments and everything. So we want to make sure we continue to do that, and we then bring forth change. So bringing forth awareness, access, and change in your local community is one of the things that we take pride in, because remember, NACA is an advocacy organization first. So I always like to make sure we know that. We are going to have an amazing show today. We have our very own, our favorite in-house agent with us today. We have Jerome Washington in the house. So we have him available today. And Jerome, thank you so much for joining us. And I always like to say the saying behind your head out there, Facebook, if you can see him and like him, throw him some hearts up there. Jerome always says, work with Jerome to own your home. And I always like that, because he lives it, he breathes it, he enjoys what he does. And every time we talk to his clients, all they speak about is Jerome. Jerome made it happen. Jerome did amazing things. He went above and beyond the call of duty. And I love that. Jerome, how are you today?
Hey, I'm great. I'm glad to be here again to share more information today about multifamilies and great testimony we have coming up. So definitely a lot of stuff I definitely want to share today, because people that actually can have their tenants contribute toward their mortgage, that's amazing. So this is the show for people that want multifamilies. It's Multifamily Monday. Okay.
Jerome, I love that. Multifamily Monday, everybody. I love it. I love it. You know what?
Wow.
Here's the interesting part. And before I even dig into it, I want to make sure my master of ceremony is acknowledged here. Damian, I had just told everybody you were running a little late and you'd be joining, but you popped on right on time. Damian Smith, everybody, in Atlanta, Georgia. Damian, how are you today?
I am doing well. It's raining here, but hey, we are doing well in the A. It's been raining since early this morning. So, but definitely, we could use some dryness here.
That's all right. We have it here. If you want some dryness for once, we don't have hurricanes coming through Houston this week. We're good and dry, and we living with that. We'll take that any day. It's a little bit of clouds, but nothing to cry about. Look, we can't complain about it. It's not our style. How about that?
Not at all. We're gonna deal with the water, the rain, the wet, the dry, whatever we have. We're just gonna take it head on and keep moving through it. So, but wow,
Exactly.
I'm so excited about this today.
What are you excited
Multifamily
about?
Mondays,
Yeah.
because for me personally, multifamilies are a passion because I like seeing people generate generational wealth, not only for them, but to be able to provide for families that they may have never even see, they may never even meet. So this is outstanding to see this. Now, unfortunately, down south, we don't have a plethora of multifamily houses. That's just not what we have. We have more land, so we're spread it out. So nobody's all, whereas up north, you have a lot of units going up, and so that's the only thing I don't like about here. But I'm excited to see somebody get and achieve multi-generational wealth that will just be taking care of families from now on in, and let somebody else pay your mortgage. One of my
Right.
friends has a saying that he will never live somewhere else that someone else is not paying his mortgage. And I had to think about that. I'm like, I like that. I
I
like
do
that
too.
concept. So
But you
I'm
know what,
excited.
Damien, the one thing I have noticed is that, yeah, we're here in the South. I'm originally, everybody knows that Angie and that Thibodeau is originally from Louisiana. And then, I went up north to Minnesota, came back down to Texas, and here we are. I've gone to Charlotte, you name it. I've been there, Chicago, LA. But the thing that I have noticed in the South is that we are evolving. So though you don't see you see more single family homes than anything. And then you
Right.
go from
Right.
single family, it's like you go from one extreme to another. You go from single family home to apartments. And this is all like hundreds and hundreds of apartments in a development. However, we are evolving now, especially in Texas. I see a lot of duplex going up. So you see a lot of the 2 units going up, and every now and then I see 3, but it's like we're skipping the 3 and moving on to 4. So I see a lot of, duplexes going up, but I also see a lot of quadruplexes going up lately. And I think the reason is because the environment is changing, and our millennials and Gen X and Gen Ys are out there, and though they don't want to go deep full speed ahead into a big single family home, sometimes townhomes, condos, however you want to call it, in the duplexes and quads, they are a little bit more appealing because it gives them that sense of ownership, and it gives them a little bit of sense of owning a home and having a home, and not just literally having a front yard, backyard, their own little garage, or however it's built, but they do have a sense of ownership, but they just don't want the responsibility of all of that maintenance and upkeep that they think they will have. I had a conversation, Jerome, with a realtor who was talking to a client. And one of the conversations he was asking the client is, why don't you can afford a single family home? Why don't you go for that? And one of the things that she said is that, and this is going to, Damien, you'll attest to this. She said, I saw my mom go through so much just to keep her home. I don't want to ever go through what she went through. We experienced so much growing up in that house: taxes, insurance, claims, bad weather, different things happening, foreclosure, going through foreclosure prevention, everything just to keep the house on the roof over their head. So she said she dare not go through that. It was even a challenge just to get something repaired. If they wanted to get something, repaired in the back, or get the fence back up, or something comes up with the roof, or shingles on the roof fell off. She said it was very, very difficult for her mom to get somebody that she trusts to come and do the repairs, and then pay the amount that they're saying, plus pay for the mortgage while all of this is going. So, you see that in these these people literally watch their parents struggle. And after you've watched that struggle for so long, do you really want that headache? So at some point, we have to glorify housing and ownership. And this is the best way to do it, because this is your generational wealth at its best. And I always say it. And Jerome, tell me, you cannot tell me that there are people out there that aspire to have generational wealth.
Yes, they're out there. And, I definitely want to share, I was inspired by my uncle who was my neighbor growing up, and he had 7 properties. And so myself, I own 6 rental properties. And so not only as an agent, I can share that my experience as a landlord with a lot of our multifamily buyers. So there's so many things I try to caution them on, and make sure that they're prepared as buyers, because it's an amazing opportunity. Because when they get the first one with NACA, they got the investor bug, and now they want to own multiple properties. Now that they're an owner occupant in their house, they want to grab more, and they see that. And that's the beautiful thing as they start expanding and seeing the opportunity. And NACA gets them started.
Wow. Now, I do have something that you said that I would like to address as far as why the young lady was not interested because of what she saw her parents go through. And that is valid. That is something we have to acknowledge, and that's something we have to talk about. But there are a lot of things that are different nowadays. For instance, the home warranty, they may have not had way back then, because I'm telling you, they have replaced my refrigerator side by side, big one with the drawer now at the bottom and all of that. They replaced my hot water heater. So there are things that you can do to mitigate some of the qualms and some of the things that may make you disinterested. You know, whether you're in an apartment that you own or you're in something that you're buying, you still have repairs to do. And some of the things that people are being plagued with is that they live in a landlord that doesn't repair their repairs. So there's no real difference. You're still going to have some of the same issues. The difference is someone else is going to be making the repairs. But that's what we talk about with NACA. That's what we make sure we ensure. You have to take a landlord course so that you learn how to save money for vacancies, that you're not getting all of your money in and spending every dollar. You're saving some of the money to reinvest in your business, because owning a multifamily is a business. And if you don't treat your business right, your business is not going to treat you right. Having the right amount of insurance, making sure that the home is protected, even to the point of if something happens to you, that unit or that building is now paid off, and your family now does not have to worry about that at all. You know, making sure that you have the type of insurance, because of this business, if you're sick or laid off and you're not having money, seeing if there's insurance available for vacancies to now cover that. So there's a lot of things that people may have not thought about that you may want to look at doing, and that's part of what NACA is here for. Like Jerome, he's going to tell you his vantage point and the experience that he had to help mitigate you having a bad experience. So a lot of things that they went on a long time ago may not be necessarily the truth, especially with the repairs, because I have the home insurance. So it covers a lot of things that I would have normally had to pay for. And when I look at my friends who air conditioners went out and they're talking about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, well, guess what? Damien is not having to pay for that.
Right.
So that's just a little.
No, it's valid, Damien. And that's something that we didn't have, back in the day. That home warranty and all of that didn't exist when people were struggling, trying to figure out how to get the hot water heater repaired, how to get the refrigerator, a new refrigerator, or get the refrigerator washing machine and dryers and all of that stuff. And then when you think about something as big as a roof, that's a major undertaking just to get the roof repaired. And you have to have that done, because that's your protection over your home. And so those are the things that kids heard. And, when you're sitting there listening to your parents talk, not supposed to be in their business anyway, but you do, you see what they're struggling with and you hear it. Nobody wants to see their parents struggle. And then when they get of age and they're able to get their own home, they equally don't want to go through those struggles. But the home ownership does not have to be painful. As a matter of fact, it is the best thing you can ever do for yourself, for your children. I have known people that took a loan out on their home to send their kids to school. I have known people to take a loan out on their property to start a business. Once they own it, once you own it, it's yours. You can do that. And that's the generational wealth you want to see. I've known people to, pass and leave their homes to their children. So, you always want someplace to call home, and that's the one thing I like about going to Louisiana. Regardless of what happens, that's the one place, and I have a home, but that's the one place I always go to call home. And that's because your parents start that early on, that generational piece. They start that early on. And so those are the things that you take with you, and that builds your legacy, and it makes your children strive for more. So if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your children. This is your generation. Do it to leave that legacy behind, because the wealth is in the land and they're not creating no more land. So once it's gone, it's gone. So you want to make sure you get that. And guess what? NACA is providing access for you to do just that. So just like Jerome said, this is Multifamily Monday. And what did you say? Multi-Monday, or what? How did you say it, Jerome?
Multifamily Monday.
Multifamily Monday. And this is the day where we're going to show you and tell you how to make the most out of your options. And the one thing that you don't realize, I want you to realize you have, is options. It's one thing to be granted the access to America's Best Mortgage, but it's another thing to then, once you're granted access to it, to be told, now you have options. Do you want a single family, duplex, tri, or quad? It's up to you. And isn't that nice to kind of have those options and weigh them out and see what works best? So, without, further ado, Jerome, kind of let us know, what is it about this particular client that's so unique? Oh, and before we get started, don't forget, throw up some hearts and like us on Facebook, because we are live as we speak. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and later on we'll be on YouTube as well. You can also reach us on the official radio station, 833-771-0500. And for questions, even after the show, you can always reach out to us on anything on this show and past shows that you may have questions about. But Jerome, let us know, what makes this show so special?
This show is special because there's a lot of people that have that interest in multifamilies, and today we're sharing it. We're bringing someone that has done it and taking it to another level. I mean, I can't wait till we get into his story. I think it inspires a lot of other members to become a multifamily owner. One thing definitely we have to talk about, you talked about how getting the NACA mortgage for a multifamily is the great step for generational wealth, but we have to protect it. And that's what I try to let all my members know, is do it the right way. Just because you got the NACA mortgage, you got to protect it. And what I mean by protect it means you get tenants in there on leases, not just let anybody, because then you can get jammed up with someone in a house that is going to take advantage of you. And so there's different means of protection I want to make sure that people know. In addition, as well as, as Damian mentioned, getting warranties on different items at the house. And I always stress that if you're not doing a NACA rehab, get something that's low maintenance. And Cornelius, when he comes on and talks, he'll tell you how many times I said that, because you don't want to get stuck with extra repairs. And the beauty of becoming a landlord with NACA as an owner occupant is that they make sure you have the reserves. So if anything does happen, you're not stuck. You're not getting into a multifamily home with NACA with no money in the bank. We're making sure in case anything negative happens that you're covered. So that's one of the measures of protection.
That's true.
As I mentioned before, with your paperwork, with the individual townships, make sure that you have units that are certified. If you're out there renting units as an owner occupant to other tenants that it's not certified, they could take advantage of that if they don't pay the rent and you don't have your stuff in order. So that's why it's so important for NACA members to have everything in order post closing. There's so much that goes into it. And that's why I really want this as the platform to caution them and make sure that they're aware. So this way they can be prepared, because it's the greatest thing having tenants pay your mortgage. But we gotta make sure we protect it. And that's why I tell all my clients, especially here in Nacadelphia, because I'm not going to say Philadelphia, I'm always going to tell you, it's Nacadelphia over here. And that's where Cornelius bought his home, in Nacadelphia. And you have to protect yourself as landlords. We're not talking about kicking anyone out of their house or anything like that. We're just talking about protecting ourselves and making sure that people, you as a homeowner, are doing it the right way so you can keep that great asset. And so that's one of the main things I want to touch on. And I'm just excited to share his story, because I'll give you a little tidbit about the beginning of it. His house wasn't even on the market. And this is what you got to look for. This house was a tease. It was on the market, and then they took it off. So when they took it off the market, I'm talking for maybe 90 days, we called. And I even sent in an offer. I'm like, you know what? I'm just sending in an offer. It's not a mark. I'm sending in an offer. I said, let's just see what they say. The reason why it was not on the market is because a car hit the building.
Oh my.
Car hit the building. And we knew that we can investigate that with the NACA mortgage and roll anything in that had to happen. But they were actually making the repairs. So while they were doing that, we were like, we don't care. We just want to get under contract. So we want, because we knew we were going to get the home inspected. He was doing the renovations with the NACA mortgage to get everything right. But being that the car hit the building, made it off the market, we were aware of that. I'm telling you, we went as far as trying to reach the owner. You know, the listing agent wasn't responding. We're reaching the owner. We did everything possible to be number one for that house, or force them to put it back on the market so we could get it. So that was just an amazing thing with that house. But we really put the pressure on, because a 4-unit in Philadelphia at the price he got it at is a beautiful thing. And we didn't want it to go to nobody else, somebody with all this money. This is somebody that's a owner occupant that's going to be able to live in there, rent out 3 other units. There's no way you're contributing to your mortgage. You are going, your tenants are paying your mortgage. And on top of that, you're renovating it, and you're going to get it it's going to appraise for more now that you put more money into it. You put the money into it, and it's going to appraise for more. So it's a beautiful recipe, getting something. Sometimes when you get a distressed multifamily building, it's okay, especially if you use the NACA loan to build it up. So
that's not a bad deal. That's actually that's good to know.
Do you think marriage once was more important than what it is now?
I don't think there are people are approaching marriage with the care that they should.
You have a point that I think I'm on your side with.
You got one.
Yep, 1 point. You got one.
We're back on our Thanksgiving installation.
Damian, remember the last time this is not our first multifamily show. We've had a multifamily property show where we talked about NACA's product, and you can get a multi-unit and things about that. And when we did that, we had so many people calling in to our number, by the way, which is 833-771-0500. We had so many people calling in for information on, you know, can I get a duplex? Can I get 3? Can I get 4? And the answer was yes. One of the questions was, does it have to be 4? Can it be 6 or 8? The answer is no, it stops at 4. The other question is, when we were at the last show that we did on multi-properties, was, does it have to be, what was the question? Do I have to occupy the property?
Yes.
And the answer was
yes, and it's still yes.
Then it's still yes. Yeah, we want you to occupy. As a matter of fact, we want you in the larger unit. if they're the same size, it doesn't matter as long as you're in one. But if there's a larger unit and then others are a little bit smaller, we want you in the larger unit, because again, the spirit of NACA is home ownership, and that's not for others, that's for you. So we want to make sure that you have home ownership. So you do have to be in one of the properties, one of the units, but the others can literally pay for you. And when I was one of the guys kind of text me back, he kind of hit me up and said, hey, saw your number online, and he started texting me and he said, can I rent it to my cousin, and my cousin do this and cousin do that? And Jerome, Damien, and Cornelius, I'm telling you, I just cringed. And the reason why I cringed is because though you have been blessed with this amazing product and home ownership and generational wealth of being a business owner to rent out units for profit, I want you to understand, the one thing I don't want you to get caught up in is family, not taking advantage, because you do want to reach over and help others that are in need. But as just like Jerome said, have your things in order, have your paperwork in order, have your business in order. Just because it's your cousin don't mean you don't have to have a lease. Just because it's your sister don't mean she don't need a lease, because sisters and cousins can leave you just like regular people, and sometimes faster, because they just figure, oh, Jerome understands. Damien knows this is me.
A lease.
Is it real, Damien, or is it real?
A lease is even important if you have someone just staying in your home and you have a single family. I don't care who it is, you need a lease. But I'm just so excited about this because basically multifamily is your own personal bank. Yeah. As it appraises, you're getting the money, you're now going to your own bank and now doing other things that you need to do to better your and further to continue and build wealth for you and your family. And I'm just, all I can say is personal bank. That's it.
I know. He's like, you become the lender. And isn't that the right thing? I always tell my friends and family, I'd rather be the lender than the borrower.
Well, that's biblical. That's in the Bible.
Any day. It is. I'd rather be the lender than the borrower. So Jerome, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce this amazing testimony.
Yay.
And who he is, what he did that was so amazing, and where he's going next.
Yes, everyone out there in NACA Nation, I'm introducing you to someone that has done an amazing job. I'm so proud of him. Cornelius, he is a homeowner in Nacadelphia, 4-unit. He definitely has put in the work. I want everyone to hear his story and just how he's done everything since then. And he's been diligent and receptive and has done everything possible to be a landlord. And we got to hear his story and how he's taken it to the next level.
Welcome, Cornelius.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
We're doing fine. Tell us about it.
Excited.
So it was a journey, but it was definitely worth the while. I forget when it was. I bought in 2019. So I heard about NACA in 2018. That was the first time I ever heard of NACA, right? My sister came to me like, hey, you know what I mean? This is this program. You can do X, Y, and Z. There's no closing, like giving me all these pros. And I'm like, okay, and where's the cons? She was like, there is none. I'm like, come on, it got to be a catch. So she was telling me like, we got to do it and everything. So only real homeowner that we have in our family is like my mother. So I'm like, well, this would be good for us to kind of go into it together. I was in college. She had just recently graduated. So long story short, we went to this convention. During that convention, we didn't have all the paperwork that we needed, all the documents we needed. And it basically went like sour. We had to come back and we had to find the office to go to, which was in the Philadelphia area. So once we finally got approved, so me and my sister decided to join together. So it was like 50-50, both our names was on it. And that was something that was going to be super beneficial to both of us as we were growing older, right? So then as life continued to happen, I continued to go into school. Now, this is when I was getting my bachelor's degree. So once I graduated, I was super, super excited because now I'm like about to get a full-time job. I'm about to make more money. But then I enrolled into a master's program. So then I went back to school to get a master's degree in engineering. So at this time, I'm like working and working, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Long story short, life happened. So my sister had to kind of drop off. So I had to restart the whole process over. So I went back to the NACA program. I went back to a conference. Didn't really get too much movement there. It was like they were so busy. It was so booked up. The Philadelphia offices were so backed up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look and see when NACA has their next conference. NACA had a conference that was in New York. So I'm from Philadelphia. I drove all the way to New York, like to get approved. I brought everything. I brought anything that they thought, anything that I thought that they would need, I brought it. I brought every single document that I had. I had my laptop. I had charged my Wi-Fi box. I brought like a little portable Wi-Fi. I did everything. I packed snacks, water. I did just literally, if you think about it, I did it. Got up to New York at like 7:30, thought I was early. That was late. So many people was already there. So I had to wait in a long line. Finally got everything situated. I was there from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Day one. But finally, at the end of the day, they had these big red clappers. And when you get approved, it is, right? So I was waiting all day long, and it was like 10:58 at night. And finally, they called my name, and they started bringing the clappers. And
my goodness.
I started to like tear up because I was super excited. At that moment, I knew I got to start finding the property. So I reached out to Jerome. They had Jerome contact me. So this is when the fun started happening, right? Because I love real estate. I told Jerome, like, hey, I want to get approved for a 4-unit. I don't want to look at no triplexes, no duplexes. So we looked at several different properties, and they weren't right. And Jerome kept telling me, you want something that's easy to make, that's maintenance. You don't want something that's really, really hard and you got to go in and make a bunch of repairs. You know what I mean? That's also an option that NACA offers, but you want to try to get into a property that's rather easy for you to, you know what I mean, get into and start making money. So we found this property, Jerome mentioned it. The seller had 2 properties that's similar to mine that I'm in now. One of them he sold rather quickly. The other one got into a car accident. I know that probably sounds crazy, but someone drove into the property. Like I have like a canopy outside, like a vestibule. Someone lost control, went up the grass ramp and crashed into the bricks. So he took the property off the market. So me being like a stalker and everything, I go around to the block to check the property out. And I seen all the bricks was like condemned. So I told Jerome, like, hey, Jerome, something's going on with the property. It's off the market. I'm not sure what happened. Long story short, we did everything we could to find this homeowner to let him know, hey, there's no need to put this property back on the market once you get it fixed. I'm going to buy it. So I literally wrote him a handwritten letter and took it to his property, put it in the mailbox, and I had him call me. He called me like, hey, how's it going? How can I help you? And I explained what's going on, and I'm really interested. So he said, hey, I need about 2 months to get the property back fixed and inspected to make sure everything is structurally sound. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and give you a buzz. Sure enough, like a month and a half go by, he gave me a buzz, and the rest was history.
Wow.
In the property now, so like I said, it is a 4-unit in one of the better areas in Philadelphia. And one thing that I did, because I was already into the real estate world in a sense, and plus I was working in an engineering background, construction management background. So I did some renovations to the entire building, which then allowed me to raise my rent to make more cash flow, right? So now the property that I'm living in is a 4-unit building. I live in one of the units. So if you want to do the breakdown, 1 unit pays for the mortgage, 1 unit pays for free, and then 1 unit provides cash flow. So it's
wow.
Live in this property for the duration of the mortgage, and I'm not have to pay anything, right? And I have lovely tenants. We all get along. We all share like a small common area in the basement, and then not to mention also a 4-car garage, right? So like I got like tons of storage, a big available area for like basement, laundry, washer, and everything. So it just made it real easy for me to get into the game. And then now, by me buying that property last May, which was May 2020, during the pandemic, right? I closed on a property, which was like, let me do that. So I closed on my property in the thick of the pandemic, which was May 29th to be exact. I closed on a property. I was in here. I've been in the property ever since. I did tons of renovations in here. But the best thing about all of this is that NACA, this program allowed me to start jumping into more real estate deals, right? So now I'm currently, I have,
you got a taste of it.
I got 8
got the bug.
I have 8 units, and it all started from that. You know what I mean? So this one NACA property propelled me, and now I have 8 outside of this. And so technically I have 9. I have 9 different, and I got into the space of a landlord, of a homeowner. So without NACA, it wouldn't be possible. So I'm definitely appreciative, and all the insight from Jerome. And I was calling him at 10 p.m. and then calling him again at 5 a.m. and he was answering every
He
call.
answered?
So,
Wow.
He answered?
yeah, Jerome was answering. Yeah, he made sure I got to view the properties, and he walked me through the whole thing from the inspection to the appraisal to closing. He was there closing. He got me a bottle of champagne. Although I don't drink, but he got me a bottle of champagne.
Aww.
So it was really nice to just kind of go through that and just learn the process from somebody that was seasoned like himself. And then, like I said, that helped me catapult me and propel me to start being a landlord for other people in different communities. So now I'm just like I'm addicted to real estate now.
You sure are. But you know what? There's so many questions I have for you right now, Damien. I'm serious. There's so many questions.
I don't know where to go.
Because he said so much. Jerome must have known. He knew. But first of all, I commend Jerome, and I always do. He's the GOAT when it comes to real estate. The real estate agents. I can't think about just what all he does out there in the community. But one of the things I want to ask you is, you said early on that your mom was a first generation homeowner. There's some background noise there. I don't know what it is. Can you guys hear it? I don't know. All right, it's stopped. But one of the things that I noticed is that you said your mom was a first generation homeowner. How did you know? Because you say, you went through your counseling session, you was approved in New York at the event. How did you know that you wanted to, number one, own a multi-unit, but that you knew exactly, this is what I'm going to dig into, this is what I'm going to do. I don't want to, the single family wasn't even an option for you. You knew multi-unit. How?
To be honest, like, I think just being at college, and I took a real estate class at college, and YouTube. I just was learning about, different entry points into real estate, and just being able to identify, like, hey, if you get a multi-unit, you are able to make money. Then once I got approved by NACA and I was hearing people talk about the different benefits, it's like, okay, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Although I didn't really have no direction. So a lot of it came from my own understanding of what I believe real estate was. And like I said, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I know pretty much YouTube videos word for word about real estate. And then like somebody like Jerome came in and saying, hey, if you get a multi-unit, you can go ahead and create cash flow for yourself, generational wealth. You could live in a property, you could become a homeowner, and like the NACA program offer all those things. So it was just a combination of all those put together. That's kind of how I knew to go that direction.
And we had many,
go ahead, Jerome.
I was going to add, we had many conversations about adding, just looking at numbers for multifamilies and talking about generational wealth, and not just the now, but long-term purchasing properties and understanding how to be a landlord.
Wow. And here's another thing that you touched on that I'm just like, almost in the space of 2 years, you've gone from owning a multi-unit quadruplex to 8 other units. Are they multi or single family, if I may ask? Can you hear me?
Yeah, they are multi-families. I have one single family in my portfolio now, and that was just because it was pennies on a dollar. So that was something that I learned from Jerome throughout the process. Like, man, if you can get a deal, get a deal. So I got a single family property, but everything else is multifamily, everything else. And I know that's the way, because that creates more cash flow for myself and being able to kind of get the rent paid for, get the mortgage paid for, shall I say, and then also put some proceeds in my pocket. So pretty much that's
I got goosebumps, so I don't even know what to say. It's just so impressive.
It is. It's very seldom that I'm speechless, and they can tell you, Cornelius, I'm so talkative. You can't shut me up, but I am truly speechless. But I just can't believe that you took that opportunity and you've taken it to a whole new level. Not only did you take the homeownership opportunity, you took homeownership, you took being a business owner, you took creating generational wealth, you took legacy building, you took creating an enterprise. Now you're so addicted, you're actually out there in the community, and now you're taking your community by storm by providing them with access to good, decent living. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Damien, I don't know what to say.
Look,
Y'all throw him up some hearts out there. Throw him some hearts out there because he doggone sure deserves it.
Awesome.
What were you saying,
Well,
Jerome?
I was going to say we need a hair sample, Cornelius, because we want to clone you and
Definitely.
do this for other buyers. I mean, just what you're doing, and like I said, everybody taking it to another level. He got bit by the bug, and he sees what needs to happen. That's why I was so excited to have him come on and say his testimony, because it's possible. You just have to put in the work, and then when you have guidance or go get the information. It's just a great story. We basically made everything happen. We created our own situation. The house wasn't on the market, and you see how hard we put our heads together. How do we get in front of these people? How can we get to sign some papers? And that's what happened. We made our own way.
Tell me again, how did you find that specific property off the market? Jerome, are you riding as an agent? Are you riding around, or you and Cornelius working together? Do you educate your clients and say, hey, I'm going to be out looking for you, but you look yourself as well. And when you see something, then let me work on it. How does that work?
Well, I think this one, they were close together where these two were. And I think we wanted to try and bid on one that was already taken. And the other one, like I mentioned, they teased us. We saw it and then they took it away. Well, we were like, you took it away, but we want it. And it's funny, just think about this. We don't care if a car hit the building. We want the house. Because what we did was we researched to see, what exactly happened. And then once we knew that, just put the pressure on. And it's just such an amazing opportunity. And like you mentioned, he was at the house. We were just trying to get in touch. I'm trying to get in touch with the broker, the agent, everybody. And, we made our way because it's an amazing opportunity, and persistence pays off. That's why no one should ever give up and try and create your own opportunity. No matter how crazy the situation may seem, you got to peel it back and just see what's going on with it to see if it's possible.
Looking at those areas of how you became who you became, and then looking at what were all the influxes that interfered with all of the stuff. We don't like to do that. That's too much work, Selena. Sometimes you have to take it in small pieces, in small fragments. You can't just run through it and say, okay, let's merrily do this work. It'll be fun. No, it's not fun work. It's painful. But we have to do it to get through it.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Cornelius, tell me this: when you're out there now and you see a property or an eyesore in the community, how do you see those boarded up properties and eyesores in your local community? What's going on inside your mind at that point now?
Opportunity. Opportunity. That's what I thrive at right now. Being able to find those off market or heavy, like I guess you could say below value properties that need value add. And I got a knack for it now. I'm just able to find these properties, whether it's on the market or off the market. I done built a team up of people that's looking for deals for me and things of that nature. So being able to just lock deals up as fast as you can, and pretty much that's kind of how the ball game has been. I've been able to, learn so much from just the home buying aspect to the investor aspect to now owning a construction company. I'm actually a licensed contractor for NACA, so I'm a part of the NACA program, and I do any type of Jerome had to do some work and some contracting work for individuals here in the city. But just being a vessel to the community. So I see, like you said, I provide like decent, and I'm putting some nice stuff. I'm putting some stuff that I would like to have in my property. You know what I mean? So I'm putting 4-piece dishwasher, stove, microwave, fridge, stainless steel packages, washer, dryer, the whole 9 yards. I'm doing all. So it's super beneficial, and I'm definitely grateful for it.
I love it. We've created a monster, but it's a good
Oh
beast.
my
This
gosh.
is good trouble. I love good trouble now. Y'all know out there, y'all better throw some hearts up because the internet loves her good trouble. So this is good. One of the things I wanted to find out about your counseling process. How did the numbers work? I don't know who cracked the numbers for you to make sure that on that particular property and the units and how much rent to charge and things like that, because I always get that question that comes at me, Mr. Thibodeau, how do we know how much to charge for rent and things like that? Talk to me about your process.
Okay, so that was really interesting because when I got approved, when I went to New York, the day I went to New York was a Saturday. I had got my first check for I was working a full-time job as a construction manager. I had got my first check that Friday before, like the very day before I got my first check. So that was right after I graduated. I had got this full-time job, making 6 figures. So everything, it was fresh, right? And I had to bring my offer letter to prove to them that I was going to be making that dollar amount for the rest of the year. So I brought my offer letter, I brought my first pay stub, and I had a decent amount of savings. With all that together, my shock payment and everything. It was this lady, I think she was from North Carolina, but she flew up she was a part of NACA program. She flew up and she was one of my receptionists or something like that. And she broke down everything, how much I'm going to have to make and how much is needed, how much the rent going to have to be. So she broke it down super, it was easy for me to understand. And then once I knew that, I knew, okay, I needed to hit $1,000 per unit. But that was just the bare minimum to stay afloat without me have to pay anything. Just $1,000 per unit. I can live for free. I can put a little bit of money in my pocket, and the mortgage will be paid for. But once I made the renovations and I did the value add, that 1,000 became 1,250, 1,300. So now that put more money in my pocket. So just being able to kind of see where areas you need help in, as far as the property, being able to make those value adds, and then taking off with it. So that's pretty much the counseling process. But one thing I also wanted to mention is NACA is really, really big on having your paperwork in order. You have to have that paperwork.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I learned about having everything organized and in order. Because when they say they need certain documents, the longer you take to get those documents, the longer your process is going to be. You know what I mean? So me, because I was a student, I had to get Fed loan documents because I had student loans. I had to get letter of explanations as to why my address says this, because I was at college. So you got to be on these things. So the whole counseling process, it basically opened my eyes to just being able to buy homes now as an investor and make sure all my T's is crossed and all my I's is dotted.
At the end of the day, I know the answer to this question is, I was going to ask you, do you think that this process, the NACA process, was beneficial to you? And you're saying yes. But if there's anything or any advice or words of encouragement or wisdom you can offer to someone who is contemplating starting the process or sticking with the process, Cornelius, what would it be?
It would be to not give up. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, Like it was times where though, like I remember I used to eat out often. And once I became a part of the NACA program, and my counselor said, you can't do all that eating out. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, well, I was eating the same thing every day. You know what I mean? I will go to the grocery store and I would kind of meal prep because I knew that this would help me set up my future at a young age. You know what I mean? So just being disciplined, staying grounded, staying true to who you are, and being able to just lock in pretty much. So that's what I would tell somebody if they are on the fence right now. And one thing about NACA, it don't matter. Well, you got to be 18, I believe, but you can do this at a young age. You don't have to wait till you older. And home ownership is just so beneficial, whether you are young or older. But especially if you get a multifamily, you can create something larger than yourself and kind of leave something to those that come behind you. So those generation, your children, your grandchildren, whatever that may be.
Love
Like,
it. Love it.
awesome. Oh my gosh.
I want to know something, and I see we got some Facebook questions out there as well. Want to know something? There's a logo behind you. Tell me about that.
So when I actually was at college, this was a little before. So I graduated with my master's degree in engineering in 2019. So I was at Rowan University in New Jersey. I was sitting at my desk. I had an assistantship on campus, and I always knew about business and credit and stuff like that. I wasn't as sharp as I am today, but I always knew I wanted to do something. And because my bachelor's degree was in construction management, my master's degree is in engineering, then I worked at a Fortune 500 company in the construction field. So I always was around construction and stuff like that and property management. So I always knew I wanted to do something in a real estate / construction world. So I just crafted a logo up just like this. And I said I played football and I was always like aggressive and stuff like that. I always like to work out. And me, when I think about myself, it's like tenacity and intensive. So I'm like, you know what? Intensify builders. So that's what the IB comes from. And I now run a construction company / property management company / investing company, all kind of within one. And this is where I buy all my properties at, and I do all the work, in-house. So that's pretty much where that came from.
Wow. And another question we have out here, what states are Intensified Builders located?
So right now we only located in Philadelphia. I don't have any, I do small work outside, like maybe a bathroom or kitchen here and there in New Jersey and Delaware. And that's for like small immediate clients, but most of the work is done here in the city of Philadelphia.
Congratulations.
It is
awesome. Goodness, I can't believe it. I once again, I'm just speechless. I can only tell you that I appreciate your relentlessness. The fact, and then you're living one of our core principles is to be relentless. And I heard you say it was in New York. You live in New Jersey. You were willing to get up early, drive there, take all of your paperwork, gather things. You were prepared. You took everything there. You were relentless in knowing you knew exactly what you wanted and you went out and got it. And I cannot tell you how you inspired me. When you want something, work hard at it, even whether it's a house, car, whatever your business, whatever your goal is. Cornelius is basically saying, just be relentless. Don't give up. And I'm sure, I am 100% sure throughout this process, you've had some obstacles that, that's just how the devil works, tries to get in there and deter you and say, oh, no, Cornelius, you got the good man on this shoulder and the bad man on this shoulder, and one's trying to talk to the other, and Cornelius like, pew, both of you get away from me. No. So I really want to commend you for knowing what you want, sticking to it, staying focused, staying the course and achieving your dream, and now taking your dream to a whole new dynamic. I just can't say enough about that.
It is awesome. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. You are definitely inspiring to many out here who's in NACA Facebook land to now do more and go get your, personal bank. You can be doing the same thing. So construction, NACA has business. Our members need to have people to fix their homes. I'm speechless.
And you said it best, Damian. That's right. Now he's not only a contractor, but he's helping other NACA members, his own fellow NACA members, repair their homes. So guess what? The best person to put some heart into it and know what you're going through is one of our own. And you know what? If that's not a builder you can trust, I don't know if there's another one out there. How about that?
That is awesome. Very commendable.
Jerome,
Man.
You did it again. That's all I can say. You did it again. I mean, this is amazing.
Yes, it's an amazing story. I wanted everyone to hear it. So proud of him. It's amazing, that he's giving back. He's
giving back.
successful and he's giving back. And it's very helpful here in Philly to have someone to turn to now as, we work on trying to help other members. So, it's a great story and, he deserves it. He deserves all the success he's put in the work.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Continued blessings to you, Cornelius. And for those of you who are out there, wanting to do more, wanting to know if this program is for you, if this didn't do it for you, I don't know what is going to change your mind. I don't know what is it going to take to get your minds together and get you to a made up mind standpoint, because this was inspiring. It was beautiful. Again, and we were at www.naca.com. And you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I do know today's rate is at 1.875 for a 30-year fix. That's 1.875. You can't beat that with a stick. And for a 15-year, it is 1.25% rate. And guess what? You can still buy down your rate. You can buy down your rate to zero. You can buy your rate down, guys. So this is the program for you. Look at Cornelius. Cornelius was like, wait a minute, that wasn't like that when I was in it. I know, right?
Hey, Jerome, I got to call you after this thing. 1 point.
Yeah, but what was yours? What was your rate? What was your purchase price and rate, if you don't mind me asking?
Basically double. I'm at 3.25, which is still decent. Still
3.25. What was the total price of your property?
Total is like 440.
440 at a 325, right?
Did you do rehab on it, or you didn't need to do any rehab?
Well, I did, but that number was included.
That's included in the 420.
So yeah, it was like 420. I had a $20,000 escrow. And then once I repaired the property, they, released the escrow and I was able to reimburse myself back. So basically.
Wow. So wait, did you do the repairs on your unit? You did. Look at there, y'all. You did the repairs yourself because you were already licensed.
Cornelius, you left that piece of the puzzle out.
Yeah.
Wow.
The repairs on so it's a 4-unit building. I'm sure you all know NACA has recommended and required repairs that's required of a home buyer. So all of my repairs, if I had 10 repairs, 7 of them was required, 3 was recommended. So obviously the required ones I had to handle, it was required, but I took it a step further because the property is in a nice area. So I just did 3 full units. So one of the units is not fully renovated as of yet because the person still lives there. And she's older, so I didn't want to kind of disturb her living. But for the other 3 units, even the unit that I'm in currently, I've fully renovated the entire thing from top to bottom. So now I was able to raise it from like, let's say 800 to like 1,500, just because I fully did everything brand new. I'm talking about like brand new everything. I ripped everything out and went back total like 100% rehab. And that definitely raised the value of the property and then also the rent roll.
And you did this all through NACA?
So I did portions of it through NACA, and the other portion, because I was good with the credit and things like that, I did it with the business credit. But obviously so it's a lot of things that, we would talk about offline, but I did a lot with the business credit, being able to kind of keep my personal credit in line, make the renovations, know that I'm going to get the positive rent roll once it got completed. And now instead of having $800 rent or $900 rent, it's more like $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. And now I'm able to take those proceeds and go ahead and pay back that credit card every month.
There you go. That's called discipline. Cornelius, let me ask you this last question. How much did you come out of pocket with the whole NACA program? Getting your multi-unit out of pocket. Do you remember that?
I don't remember, but I know it was less than 20 grand. I know it was
for a 4-unit.
for 4 unit.
4-unit, yeah.
You're talking about cash to close?
Say it again.
Cash to close? That's what?
Yeah, I think that was included in everything. Like that was my EMD. That was everything. Everything. I believe it was less than 20 grand. Everything.
Everything. You can't beat that. So I was curious as to what his minimum required funds was looking like, Jerome. That's why I was asking.
I think it might even be lower. I don't know if some of that was because of the repair escrow.
It sounds like it.
But for a $440,000 property or so around there, and the taxes, I can't remember what the taxes were. And in Philly, they're prorated. I think you bought yours in the spring, your house. So you were nearly responsible for almost half the taxes. So it should have been much less that he was responsible for because of everything that the NACA program helps with. But when you have the repair escrow, that's probably what, brought him to bring more money. But let's just say that place was ready to go. I would think that he would need less than probably $3,500. Really, he responsible for his insurance. I don't know what your taxes are over there, Cornelius. Where are they?
They for the year, it's like right now, it's like 3,800.
Yeah, 3,800.
Okay.
So half of his taxes he would have to bring, his homeowner's insurance, and pay for his inspections. That's well under $5 grand. So when you think about without repairing anything, you own a 4-unit building with less than $5 grand.
Absolutely.
Also to mention, if you're really thinking about it, because he's owner occupied, I don't know about every state, but I know like in Georgia, he gets to claim the homestead exemption, which lowers your taxes. It's kind of weird in every state, but you have to make sure you check. But I don't know, were you able to apply for the homestead exemption in your state?
No, I didn't apply for it. I know about it, but I didn't take advantage of that opportunity, unfortunately.
Okay.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Well, you know what? I cannot believe I'm saying this, but our hour is up. Our time is up. The old clock on the wall.
Oh, Lord.
It's time for us to go. But I do pray and hope that you guys have enjoyed this segment of Multifamily Monday, where we talked about Jerome. Look at Jerome. Jerome always starting something. I keep telling you, he's the GOAT, guys. He's the GOAT. But I do hope you've enjoyed this segment. It was beautiful. It was inspiring. It was uplifting. It was very motivating. This is it. NACA once again did it again through Cornelius, bringing forth awareness, access, and change. But you guys, we're here every Monday from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern time. Always here trying to bring forth more awareness, access, and change right to your airwaves. So always reach out to us. www.naca.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can find us all over the social media platforms. And if you didn't get any better, you can always reach out to us at 833-771-0500. You guys have a great day. Cornelius, Jerome, Damian, thank you guys for joining us.
Awesome.
Happy Monday.
Awesome.
Stay tuned. Mask up. Don't forget, our Mayor's Forum, Atlanta's Mayor Forum, is this Saturday, guys. This Saturday, Atlanta Mayor Forum. We are having it at 9 a.m. virtual. Stay tuned to NACA for more details. Take care, everyone.